Hello and welcome to Life in the Bitter Truth. This is a podcast where we seek to understand the deeper, sometimes painful aspects of life and what it all means to us. I'm Vittorio.
And I'm Dinorah.
There you go. Hold on. Yay. I do that for all of you. You and Alex. Yeah. First of all, what's been going on in your last week? Anything interesting?
Nothing,
on a personal level?
No, nothing interesting. You know, just doing the grind.
Do the grind.
The grind.
That's right.
Day-to-day grind.
The grind sucks.
Yeah. But you?
Same shit.
Yeah.
Doing the grind. Bullshit stuff you got to do in life to work for the man.
Yes.
Even though you are the man. That's true. Well, today's podcast is a tough one. You know, we try to lighten it up. It's tough to do because it's been a week, almost a week since Charlie Kirk was shot. So I think what our goal for this podcast is to kind of present that day's timeline. September 10th, and the timeline and how we reacted to it, both you and I.
Okay. But let's be clear. He wasn't shot. He was murdered.
Oh, this is true. That's right. He was murdered.
It was a horrible thing.
Yeah.
He was not shot. He was murdered.
Yeah.
And it was
That's true. It's let's be clear. He was murdered by liberal activists. So if people aren't talking about it or they want to hide away from that, the libtards that are out there, or the trans activists, or whoever the hell they are that don't want to admit to the fact that the left is the predominant factor in violence in America today. Sorry, I'll say it the way it is.
You just did.
That's right, I did. So for those people who want to disagree with us, totally get it. You know what? But I respect your opinion, and I come from the mindset that political discourse is okay.
Yes, it is.
As long as we can talk, just like Charlie Kirk, dialogue is good.
Dialogue is very good.
We don't have to agree on everything. There you go.
You and I don't even agree on everything.
No, that's right. That's true. Are you libtard?
No.
Okay, just making sure. So we wanted to kind of walk you guys through kind of how we saw it that day, and just kind of our reactions to what took place that ugly afternoon. It's kind of a tough one. So what was your, it's kind of funny. What was your first glimpse of the murder?
It was crazy that I got a text because I was traveling for work, and I was in Texas and I was traveling, and so my cousin actually is the one who sent me a text, basically saying that he was shot, that Charlie was shot.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, how horrible.
Yeah.
Is he okay? And then I asked, her daughter actually works for TPUSA.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked how she was doing, and they had said that they locked down TPUSA and everybody who was there, everybody on lockdown.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I want to say 15 minutes later, I get the next text because I couldn't do anything.
Right.
So I got the next text, basically saying that he died.
Wow. Okay. So you got it kind of back to back. I was actually, I have a routine kind of in the morning when I'm in doing stuff, and I watch a lot of podcasts in the morning, not only ours but others. And Charlie Kirk's podcast, along with a whole host of others. Right. I watch, and I was watching the one that was released 5 hours earlier that day on September 10th.
That's crazy.
And I was watching Charlie Kirk. I was watching the podcast. So, this is the one where he goes to the university. That particular podcast was at the UC San Diego.
Okay.
And I believe it was UC San Diego. And I'm just watching it. He does his typical routine. He's challenging the kids to think a little bit beyond themselves and kind of talk about, he does, he obviously talks about religion in in these challenges and stuff. And you get a lot of abortionists and a lot of trans activists that come up there, and just people that are just, dumb shits that try to debate him, which is fine. He gives opportunity for everyone. He always has, always did, right? Give opportunity for everybody to hear both sides of the argument.
But what's so fascinating with him is how he can quote scripture like on the dime.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching it. I'm in the middle of doing stuff, and I've got it in the background, and I'm watching it. And I don't know who the heck, I think it was maybe our cousin as well, sent me a text. I think that was the case. And I said, what? No, I'm watching it. I really am. I was like, I'm watching it. And I didn't connect the dots until I thought, what? So that was my first pop of information. And then I went online to see if I could see anything. No, it was just Charlie, something about on the mainstream media. There was nothing. I did not see anything for at least 10 minutes. So I don't know what it was. And then I immediately went onto social media, and that's when I saw information about there was a shooting at the university during one of Charlie Kirk's podcast or presentations to students, and I just kept digging. So that was kind of my first piece of information, right? When our cousin sent me a text, I called her daughter. No, I actually texted her daughter. Our cousin, because she works for Turning Point USA, and said, "Hey, have you heard anything?" She says, "No, I've heard anything. You probably have heard that you and I have heard the same thing. So I'll keep you posted." And that was it. I said, "Okay," that was it. And then
crazy that they didn't hear anything right away either.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything. So that was the instantaneous first pop at it. So
did she tell you she was on lockdown?
I didn't find that out till later.
Okay.
I think our mother told us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she didn't tell me.
I knew.
Okay, yeah, Chloe didn't tell me anything. So so that was the initial I guess instant news that I found out, that you found out, right? Mm-hmm. So part of understanding, I guess, the man Charlie Kirk. We wanted to kind of give our background on how we viewed Charlie Kirk, right? So I guess, what's your first take on Charlie Kirk and his work and what he's done over the years?
I thought he's done really good work. I'm fascinated by how knowledgeable he is with everything, and how he cares.
Yeah.
He truly does care about people.
Yeah.
He's a loving person, from what I could tell from what I see. I actually saw when his wife gave her speech, and that was so moving. In my opinion, again, it's my opinion. I feel like it was tough to watch, but she said such really nice things about him and how loving he was, and what a good father he was, and a husband, and devout Christian.
Yeah. It was. I saw that, and it reminded me of when Trump did his battle call for fight against the system that we have here, the activism that creates violence. So that kind of I had that little bit of a reflection there, but the background. So I guess the first for Turning Point USA is we have a family member that works there, right?
Yeah.
And somebody who's young and came off of graduation and very excited to work for the organization, and
went to quite a few of his events
over the years. Yeah. So very, very, very excited about being a part of the organization, and the energy and the opportunity to create a message. So it was pretty cool.
Yep.
So she was excited about it. So that was certainly part of the understanding that we had with his of our knowledge of Charlie Kirk, was certainly the fact that we have a family member that works there.
Well, and that's honestly the way I knew of Charlie Kirk was because of her.
Okay. Yeah. For me, it was probably a little bit more. He was part of my repertoire of podcasts that I would watch pretty routinely. Almost every day I would watch something related to Charlie Kirk, or even Candace Owens, who those two are very close. Megyn Kelly, all of these people that are interconnected in one form or another, and trying to convey messaging and bring real information to people. So that was that. And then so watching his podcast was a daily routine for me. Did Did you see many of the podcasts or some?
I saw some, not all.
Yeah, he had kind of like a news kind of podcast, and then he did the challenges, university challenges.
I saw more of those.
Yeah, he did one-on-ones, or not one-on-ones. It was other university challenges, and he did them. I know he did them in other countries. I think it was England when he did it.
They are national, or
Oxford, maybe he did it, and it was very fascinating to see that. And then, of course, just all the other people that he had connected with, and of course, he was a big supporter of Trump. They say that his involvement in the youth organization put Trump over and got him the election, or got him the win in the election
for the younger votes.
For younger votes, yeah.
Yeah.
And they said that this individual, Charlie Kirk, would have been a presidential candidate.
I could totally see that.
And probably would have won the White House.
I could see
several
that.
years later. Obviously, we'll know that J.D. Vance will probably win. And he'll probably serve a good 8-year term. And then it was understood that Charlie Kirk, though he denied it in all of his interviews, because who the hell wants to run for that kind of an office where it's such just such a terrible time. You're trying to do good, and you've got all these crazes on the other side of the fence just trying to knock you down and that kind of stuff. So,
and to be so scrutinized.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Too many. I got too many skeletons in my closet. I couldn't do that kind of stuff.
Not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. And you have to have real resources personally to constantly defend yourself from the attacks.
Which I think he would have done a great job and been very articulate.
Sure.
In doing so.
It's kind of funny. So when we talk about him being articulate, I think it was who was it? Shapiro. He basically said that when his interaction with Charlie Kirk was that he didn't have he wasn't comfortable in a public forum, and then over years, Ben would always say, wow, you should really do this. You're really good at it. But you should, I guess they gave each other advice, and mostly Ben gave him advice. He's a lot older. He's older.
Yeah.
And so Ben had met him when he was 18, just starting Turning Point USA.
Oh.
Yeah, so he was talked about, I think the budget the first year of launch was like $1 million budget. And at the height, last month was like somewhere close to $250 million budget.
Crazy.
So yeah, he's built quite the organization, grassroots, and certainly religious. He's certainly a religious individual. He's a Christian.
He's Christian,
right?
Yeah.
I think his wife is Catholic, and maybe he's Protestant. One of the two. I think that's what it is. Right. So both Christians, but one different religious streams and whatnot. But he was a big proponent of the Judeo-Christian mindset in this country, where it was founded and whatnot. I'm Jewish, right? So for me, it was important to understand that, though I don't agree with him religiously, right? He was very proud of being a supporter of Israel. He was a proud Zionist, as I am, and that's an important part because that goes to the nature of his religious understanding. And the Christians believe wholeheartedly that the Jewish people needed to be back in their biblical homeland. So he was a real big proponent of Israel and all that. I know there's a little bit of controversy right now. Something's going on with a couple of these other podcasters. I think Candace Owens has got some kind of conspiracy thing that she's going on feeding off of regarding some nonsense about Israel and Charlie Kirk and that kind of stuff. But whatever, he was, like I said, he was a big proponent of making sure that he wanted Israel to win this battle against Hamas, the terrorist organization, which murdered 1,500 people in October last year. So he was a big proponent of that. It's probably the easiest way I can say it. So over the years, I think. Did you know any of that kind of stuff?
But do you realize? I knew some of that.
Yeah, you did. Okay.
But do you realize that his wife teaches the Bible?
Oh, you told me. Did you tell me that or something?
No, I told you that she actually has. You can learn the Bible like in 365 days.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's how he's become so well versed. He was so well versed with the scripture and everything, and how he can quickly quote it.
Yeah.
was because of her.
Interesting. Wow.
At least that's what I read.
Gotcha. Well, no, I knew you. I think you and I had talked a little bit about that, and it's like, I didn't know she had that, but I looked her up. Right. So she's also a businesswoman and a podcaster.
Yes.
So yeah.
I looked it up too.
Very successful couple. 2 very small children, which was sad.
Yeah, it's the sad part.
Yeah, they were really sad.
Young.
A woman lost her husband, a widower at that age, as well as 2 children lost their father. So disgraceful. But it's kind of some of the challenges that we had heard, or that I had heard over the years, was that Charlie Kirk was a racist. Yeah. It's funny. I kept trying to figure that out, and what popular media. Did you hear that?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
What popular media doesn't do is they don't show the truth. That's why I don't listen. That's why I don't watch mainstream media. Right, where Charlie Kirk's, Turning Point America, as well as all of the other organizations that he was involved in, both in every community, the Asian, the Black, every other community out there in America, Hispanic communities. No, it's just unfounded lies trying to disparage a man.
Disparage. You said it. Yeah.
A man's reputation, which I thought was, again, shocking. So
it's what they don't understand. It's what they don't feel comfortable with. So instead of going with it and understanding it, they want to fight it and tell that he's a racist or he's this or he's that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though. I'd spoken to a few people after what took place, just trying to get someone who people that are on the left or more wokey, or it's probably on the left side of the world. Right?
Did you?
Yeah, just try to get their perspective of it. And I had heard some things like that. I'm going, he hated the trans people. He hated the gay people. I go, no, he didn't hate anybody. He just didn't agree with the lifestyle, and that's okay not to agree with the lifestyle.
His belief is God.
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah.
So
country.
God first. Yeah. God.
Yeah, exactly. And so I tried to challenge some of these individuals to provide me hard facts, and they just say, they heard it on TikTok. And so, of course, TikTok is the bane of everyone's reality, because it's a bad.
They knock it.
It's a bad platform, right? It's just a bad platform, dangerous platform.
Dangerous. Yes.
Yeah. So hopefully, TikTok either will get completely turned off, or it will get sold, and the Chinese will no longer own it. So a little bit more controls. There needs to be a little bit. I know everybody talks about freedom of speech and stuff. I get it. We don't need to curb freedom of speech and stuff, but there are some pretty vile people out there. So,
yes, absolutely.
Which I think, and we speak about his background and stuff. I think he always tried to promote openness and communication. And
dialogue,
talking about how life's challenges in all parts of our world, Black community, Hispanic community. No, he was not a proponent of illegal immigration. The reality is all of them needed to be deported, which is what he said, because they came into this country and broke the laws of this country. So I understand that. It's a pretty logical approach. Not a hateful thing to say. It is
reality.
The law. So he didn't say anything about, in fact, I saw one where he was talking to a trans person who was on the fence of converting or transitioning. My wording, so transitioning. And he was very kind and said, before you go in there and start taking drugs that will affect your body and your mind, maybe you need to spend a lot more time thinking about, these decisions, which will be impactful for life. Wasn't a disparaging commentary. It wasn't a negative commentary. He was just trying to say, look,
take a step back. Take a beat. And whatnot. And the person who he was talking to was one of the university challenges. That person thanked him. It wasn't a negative. It was positive and all that good stuff. So, I think overall, what I thought was pretty decent individual, and that's who I knew Charlie Kirk to be all these years that I had been watching him. So he's 31. He's been doing this since he was 18. I'm a lot older, so obviously I saw him at the beginning of his career, and
basically followed him all these years later. So I thought he's a pretty decent guy. You know, again, religious individual, devout, and he had friends in every area of different religions. You know, from Ben Shapiro to other Christian faith leaders, I guess, in those communities and stuff. So
No, I feel the same.
Yeah,
like
so-
I from what I've seen, from what I've read, he seemed like a very decent guy.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, and again, you know, I challenge. There's been a lot of people that are on the left, the socialists that are out there, the trans activists that are out there, the abortionists, because he had a lot of disagreeing with the abortionists, right? Some vile things that these young women do or say when it comes to their thought process about abortion. I'm gonna go get pregnant, and then I'm gonna have that thing ripped out of me. And it's like, wow.
my God.
And for a young person to say that is shocking, because
That
it's
is
just
shocking.
like, where are their parents?
Well, and
And I think he would take a step back. I go, wow, I'm going to pray for you. I go,
well, the morality.
it's
like,
just, where is the morality in that? So I think that was the kind of reaction that really pissed off these abortionists,
Yeah.
right? And of course, you got the socialists with their crazy mindset, and the trans activists with their, warlike mentality of saying, we're no longer going to take it. I go, what are they taking?
What are they taking?
I don't know what the issue is personally, but there's enough ugliness in that group, the socialists, the left, the trans activists, because the shooter, the murderer, was a trans. I think he was gay, living with a transitioning individual.
Rest.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah. So there was something going on there. So, and then, that came out today at some of the hate speech or some of the, what we call, or what what used to be called is the TikTok of, the timeline.
Oh.
I didn't want to put that in our title here, because TikTok has been stolen by the company TikTok. But TikTok used to be a minute by minute, composition of someone's day.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yep.
the background as far as Charlie Kirk goes is kind of, what we've outlined it. I think it's a tragedy, just a tragedy. What the country has lost, what young people have lost.
What young people have lost. Yeah.
And quite apparent, his two children have lost. So it's pretty sad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just, what? The day of the event and the minute that happened, the reaction, well, first of all, just the horrific, if you were the person speaking to him at that moment.
Oh, can you imagine? Ugh.
Who is that person? Like how is that person okay?
Yeah.
And even the people around him who saw it. And I looked at some of the videos of the shooting at every angle, and it was like,
Can't unsee that shit.
you can't. Like, it was awful to see.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. So as we roll down this timeline, it's just that when I got the news, right, I started going on social media. I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on, and because I have I have a little bit more control of my time, so I was looking on. I was trying to find out something. I told you couldn't get anything on mainstream news.
Right.
Nothing was being. I was like, what's going on here? So I kept checking, and then slowly started rolling out, and I actually got into a back and forth with somebody on, I want to say it was Instagram, or maybe it was Facebook. I can't, probably
One of them.
Probably Instagram.
It's probably Instagram.
'cause
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram more often than I'm on anything else. And so going back and forth, because they were saying he died, and I go, what are you talking about? I hadn't seen that, right? So I said, please stop. There's no credible evidence that he's died. In fact, I had heard that he had been taken to the hospital, and Glenn Beck, I think, actually came out and said that he had been taken to the hospital, and the guy said, no, you stop. He did die. And I went dark, right?
Yeah.
I got off of social media to see if I can keep digging, and that's when they announced it. It's like, Charlie, I jumped onto Fox News. I think that's what I clicked on, and it said political activist, father of two, Christian. I don't know how they spelled it out in the in their running board, but died.
Died. Yeah.
Died. So that was that, and I was just like, what?
And then I got that text
Yeah.
that he had died just after that.
And so I'm sitting there going, so of course it's just continuing shock. It's like, what? And I'm thinking, I just was fucking watching him. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. And so then you would just raise the next part of that is, oh my God, the amount of video.
Oh,
And,
Lord.
you see, the first one that I saw was probably the first one everybody saw, is when it's probably from a distance on top of a second story bridge area overlooking, and the camera's pointed to Charlie Kirk, right? And he's got
in the frame. In the frame.
Yeah. And he's and it's
face
just,
on.
Yeah,
head on.
Yeah, no, it's
okay.
but it's probably from 100 yards or something like that, right? Because it's just somebody filming him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he's answering, he's responding to something. He's got the microphone in hand, and within a second of that, you hear the pop, and him taking it back, and then him just falling over.
Back.
And
Yep.
you don't get to see much out because it's from a distance, and then oh my God. The pylon of videos on a close-up basis was just one after another.
I stopped seeing it. I didn't even want to see it.
And look, I looked at it twice or 3 times. I'm going, what the fuck?
Yeah,
and as soon as I saw the close-up one,
I
said,
done.
he's never going to survive this.
Oh, no.
Never going to survive this, because that was dead on, right through the
It's
through the neck,
there.
the jugular, or whatever. There was
Yeah.
so much blood coming out. It was just beyond shocking. Even I think I took a step back, and I was just like, I was disturbed emotionally.
No, yeah.
Because you connect with him. At least I did over the years, right? I thought, like I said, I thought he was a good guy. I like decent people. I really do like people who are good and they care about their kids and their family, their wives. Their wife. So I just and you build a connection with people that you like, right? Even though they're you don't know them.
You don't know
friends,
them personally, yeah.
Right. So there's no sycophant thing going on there. It's just, hey, I kind of like the guy. So I liked what he said. Again, different religions. He's a Christian. I'm Jewish, but I liked it. And I'm a big fan of anybody who is for Israel and a Zionist. I dig all that shit, so that's good. So that's how I. And then he was spoken very positively by every single person that was there. So to watch that
was the
and
horrific
for me,
part.
I had to take it in a few times. I was just, I think I covered my mouth so many times.
Yeah.
I just could not believe it was like a movie, surreal, just, and then, and then I just kept watching it from different angles because it kept popping up in the feeds.
I
and stuff.
stopped. I couldn't do it.
It was that direction. It was this direction. It was just, oh my God! As you see it from all these angles and stuff, it was just, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, and I saw it a couple times, and then I just I can't. I don't want to see this any longer. And since I was at work and my job doesn't allow me the freedom the way you have for social media. Yeah. However, one of the executives had it on their TV.
I thought you were an executive.
He's a bigger executive.
Oh, well, gotcha. There's layers to executiveness.
Yes,
executiveness.
And since I was in Texas, he had it on his TV, and we're all just standing there watching it, in awe that it was just sad.
Yeah.
We were just like, I can't even believe that this was happening. And it was a couple days later, honestly, just to bring this up, I know I'm going fast forward, but I'm reading on social media and they're talking some smack. It's one of these guys was just talking smack about something and crying that he got fired because he said something negative about Charlie Kirk and he got fired about it.
Good.
And then, why did he get fired? He didn't deserve that. And he didn't say anything that was horrible. And, he started talking shit about Charlie at that point. And the only comment that I could actually make to this person, and normally I don't comment on people on social media. I just don't because I just don't.
Yeah.
But I was so enraged at the fact that he felt he shouldn't have been fired because of the comments that he made. I just put consequences.
Beautiful.
I couldn't do anything more but just say that because...
Yeah.
Dude, your actions, they have consequences.
Yeah,
and their consequences, you got fired for being a dumbass.
Yeah. That was, that I get what you're saying because obviously that was the aftermath.
Aftermath,
was, so much vitriol ugliness, and we'll certainly get into that in the next podcast. But it's just
I just had to share that.
No, totally, I love
it.
The one word is exactly it, because these wokies, these lefties, who say stupid, ugly shit, are being taken to task. They did the exact same thing with the hostages.
Oh.
Where they were ripping posters of hostages off of the walls, and trying to be destructive on what is it? Not murals, but presentations where people are mourning and trying to vigils, that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, vigils.
Yeah.
People on the left are pretty darn ugly when it comes to certain behavior. You don't see that happening on the conservative side of the world. They just don't do that kind of. You don't.
Yeah.
Where do you see that? Where do you see that kind of ugliness coming out?
Anger.
There's anger.
There's just a lot of anger.
There's a lot of bitterness on the left, and it's just they're, I guess when you're not getting your freebies, you kind of your free drugs or whatever the hell else happens in blue states or blue cities and stuff. So whatever.
So what did you do after? So did you talk to anybody?
I was, of course, glued to the freaking TV, right? So, I had the TV flowing.
I had that too.
Yeah, so I was watching it minute by minute, just and I'm just like, wow, and
just listening to them trying to find the person,
the hunt, and it was so new, and the key things, it probably went through about a half an hour. I think it was about half an hour where you don't see anything about his condition other than, I think it was, like I said, Glenn Beck came on and said something about that from a good source. He is critical. They're trying to stabilize him, something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know how accurate the information he got. Obviously, he's just getting it like anybody else, but he's probably closer to it because Glenn Beck was very close to him. And then boom. So talking to anybody after the fact, I don't think there was anybody around.
No.
So
that's because I was out of town.
Yeah. And then I talked to a couple friends and stuff like that. I talked to a couple of people that I know that are I would consider on the left, because I have friends in all spheres, because I have the ability to talk and be friends with and love other people that are from other religious
I have that
streams.
ability too. However, we choose to not talk about it.
Oh, that's too bad. I call them whack job liberals all the time. Yeah, they call me. We
don't.
It's funny.
Don't engage in that. We agree to disagree.
On this podcast, I've always said which is very true to form. I'm an independent. I'm probably moderate in my social views, and I'm fiscally conservative. But there are some hard things that would label me as deep conservative because. I don't think abortion should be used as a
birth control.
Birth control.
Agreed.
I'm not a fan of illegal, illegal immigration.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I mean, my views on the trans community and whatnot, whatever. I don't know enough about the trans community to probably say something intelligent, but it's not what I believe. But God bless you if that's what you want to do and that's how you want to live your life. I got no problems with that.
Yeah.
Whatever. I won't say pronouns because I don't. You want to live your life that way. God bless you, but don't force your views on me.
Right.
Which is how most people feel. I think from a political perspective, I think that I'm probably pretty conservative in a lot of things that have taken place over the last several years, and I think that I think our government is wholly corrupt. Both parties are wholly corrupt.
I would agree.
If it were up to me, I would fire each and every one of our congresspeople, start all over again. Certainly not. I'm very worried about that because now we got a socialist, who's going to become the mayor of New York, which never in my lifetime I would have thought a socialist. Even Bernie Sanders, I guess today made a comment about he's no longer a social democrat or a socialist democrat or something.
What?
He's removed Democrat from his title. Now he's a socialist.
Okay.
He's finally come out and admitted what everybody already knew. So whatever, So yeah. So I didn't have, like I said, I talked to people about the event, and I had some different views on him. Some people didn't care because they didn't know anything about him.
They didn't know anything about him. Yeah. They thought that some of the people that I talked to that didn't know him thought the situation was sad.
Yeah.
Which, it's a person who got murdered.
Yeah.
With a Christian man, wife, two kids.
Yeah.
It is sad. Yeah. From that perspective.
Everybody I spoke to who is on the liberal or left side all made the same comment because these are highly intelligent people, slightly different viewpoints certainly, but still intelligent enough and have enough humanity in them to say that was terrible.
It was terrible.
It was egregious. It was wrong. When the foundation of our society breaks down to that level, we've got a problem.
We got a huge problem.
So they all agreed to that, but they just didn't. Some of them didn't understand Charlie Kirk enough. They had only heard TikTok news or People Magazine news, which I always said that, to stop watching People Magazine for your news or TikTok for your news. But the reality is there's a lot of people that do. And so they get false information. Yeah. So I got a little bit of that and I tried to challenge a couple things here and there, but you can fall on deaf ears. Yeah. So I didn't go spend too much time on it. And then when I got home, I talked to Mom, and she was just beside herself.
And she was watching.
Yeah, she was watching it. She was glued, and she was. And so when I got there, I told her, "You're watching delayed views. Let's get on to," because her favorite news is Fox. Yeah. And she asked me, "Do you know what Hannity said?" I go, "No, I don't watch Fox News, so I don't know what Hannity said. But let's find out what Hannity said." So I got her onto Fox, and so she was watching it. We were watching it. I had dinner with her that night, and I was like, "Wow." And she was like, she was sad because she liked Charlie Kirk. Yeah. And she was more sad because he was so young.
And two young children.
Yeah, and two young little kids, and his wife just. Shocking. So yeah, she was not happy about the whole thing, and then she had said that our cousin was in tears. Yeah, in tears, and so it was pretty. It was tough. So we talked a lot about, I guess, what he did. The kind of work that Charlie Kirk did and that kind of stuff, and she knew quite a bit of stuff. So she did. So she follows the news quite intently. So so that's what I did. How about you? What did you end up doing after that? At the end, towards the end of that day.
Well, since I was in my hotel room, I was just watching the news, like just the minute by minute kind of thing. On it was Fox News that I was watching because that was the only thing you can get at the hotel. Yeah. I won't watch ESPN.
No, ESPN or CNN.
The CNN.
God, no. ESPN has a little bit of news.
No, CNN.
What that dipshit LeBron James is doing. I don't know.
No. But I won't watch CNN. So I was watching Fox News, which I don't mind Fox News at all. And so just literally watching. Yeah. The hunt for the guy, just because that was all that was on the news. Yeah, yeah. I'd seen a little bit about. I guess we were watching the Patel, the head of the FBI, and then of course the local law enforcement. Oh yeah.
They did their speech and their presentation at their
Was it that night or was it the next day?
Maybe it was next. I don't remember exactly.
I think it was the next day
because there's been so many different news presentations, but I know that. I think I saw Trump's reaction.
Oh, yeah.
Trump was the first one to announce.
He was.
Was he? He was the first one to announce that Charlie Kirk had been murdered.
Yep.
I think the word shifted from murder to assassination, which I think sent chills down my spine. Because you know what? It's true.
They
assassinated him.
Let's take a step back. They tried to assassinate Trump.
Yep.
And they missed. Bad shooter.
Yeah, bad shooter. Yeah. So, I think that in the end of the day, right, at least at the end of this timeline, the takeaways we have, right? So you had mentioned the wife, Erica, and, that speech that she gave, that was pretty.
It was very emotional. Very powerful. It was very emotional. Like I I had chills when I was watching her
You
speak.
can stop you can kill the man, but you can't kill the idea, and the idea can live well past the man.
And she's going to.
And yeah,
She's going to take it.
You know what? All the crazies out there that might be watching, the reality is, Turning Point USA lives on and will continue to live on. And by the way, if you're interested in donating, please follow Turning Point USA, and they will send you a link where you can actually donate, because it helps the organization, helps build the chapters. I heard that, I think right after that, a couple of days later, they had talked about they had gotten 18,000 requests for chapters.
Oh, I did hear that.
Yeah,
yes,
so high
I
school
did
and
hear
university
that.
chapters.
Yes, I did
which
hear
I
that.
thought was great. So yeah, so the fight will continue. The battle of sharing, ideas and ideals to the young people of America is a great thing, and
They need to be educated.
There are chapters beyond the U.S. There's a chapter in the U.K.
I know.
I think
They're
Italy.
international.
It's international as well.
International.
So yeah, it's crazy, big
I think it's
organization.
called CPU International.
Maybe I don't know.
I have no idea.
So I think it's kind of to end this podcast. I think it's been it's pretty sad.
It is sad, but I'm glad that today we got some news.
Yeah, we did get some good news.
Yeah.
Today being the 16th, they will hold this little turd accountable, and he's going to be. I think they filed charges of aggravated murder.
I think
Something like that, right?
Something like that.
Aggravated, some higher level of murder.
Yeah.
So
or
yeah.
it's the death penalty. I think.
Oh yeah, and they're going to be chasing the death penalty. So hopefully they will. And I'm a big proponent of the death penalty. We should probably have a lot more of it. Of course, we're in wacky California, which is always a tough thing. That jackass Gavin Newsom. So don't get me started on that piece of shit.
Not talk about him.
But yeah, that's the good news. So we'll stay tuned, and hopefully, I guess in final words, about Charlie Kirk, which is
Good man.
yeah.
Rest in peace, Charlie.
Rest in peace, Charlie. That's
Freedom.
right. That's
Freedom.
Right. That's right. A lot of people say that. So, I can't remember what pastor said something. I was watching another podcast, and they were saying that now that Charlie Kirk is in the sitting with Jesus, he would never want to return, right?
No, not at this point.
He's now in the promised land. He's but he can look down on his beautiful wife and his two beautiful children, and know that his spirit is there helping them.
And they're moving forward.
Yeah, they're moving forward. It's tough though. Sad.
Cheers to Charlie.
Cheers to Charlie. Thanks everyone for joining us on this difficult conversation, and it was our little timeline of what happened to Charlie Kirk, the assassination that unfolded in front of our eyes. So again, for those who want to donate, Turning Point USA has got their website, and you can certainly get information there. And that battle will continue, certainly. So we appreciate you listening.
Thank you.
For those who want to leave comments, certainly go ahead. And I know there are going to be many that don't have the same level of agreement. We accept
And
that.
that's okay.
We understand that.
And
So
that's okay.
we appreciate that. Life and the Bitter Truth. We're on all the podcast platforms. If you're on YouTube, you can like and subscribe. Leave those comments there as well. And we're on all the other podcast platforms if you're listening. So thanks again, everyone, and stay tuned. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.